Okay, welcome all to the village board meeting, 7 o'clock, Monday, March 10th, 2025. A roll call of officers.
Pete Anzia, Roseanne Geib, Sarah Heiser, Chris Clear, Rose Sowers, Kevin Schuler, and Dan.
Open meeting law compliance check.
We are in compliance.
Y'all please stand for a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Anyone with public input?
I just got two things. First, I don't know if you guys all saw your emails, the AEDs are installed and in service in the park. The sheriff's department entered everything into their CAD system and for Phoenix and that, so they're all entered. So anyone that calls or calls 911 from there, they'll get the code to open them up. The code is the same at both parks. And then they're also entered on a system called Pulse Point IDs or Pulse Point AED. So anyone from the public that calls a cardiac problem, they'll direct them to those AEDs as well. So it will be a good thing. It was the first municipality in the county to have one. So they're available to public 24/7, and we got two of them. So I have all the paperwork, Vicky and Teresa. I'll give that to you. It's all the warranties and it's all been sent in. You know, it's clear file. So that's it on that. Next week, Tuesday, the 18th at 11 o'clock, the Rocky Press is coming out to take a picture with the donors there. So anyone from the village board is available. I know it's 11 in the morning, but most of the
On
donors.
what date?
Next week, Tuesday, the 18th.
Oh, I can probably make that.
Do it at community park at 11 o'clock. They just want to get a picture with the donors and that stuff. So thank you for allowing us to do that. The other thing I have is our fire engine. Just want to thank the village board for your approval of it at the meeting. We did meet with our dealer this afternoon for about 3 hours. We did a few changes to the body that'll allow us to do some more storage on it. And added some other features that probably brings the price up, but we also deleted a bunch of stuff that he said will be pretty much a wash. So we're pretty close at that price point of what we had for budgetary numbers, I think. We'll have some firm numbers probably the next week or so. He's just gonna draw up, and then he'll also have some CAD drawings of what the engine will look like as well. So I should have that in the next week or so. I'll forward it on to the board members so they can look at it and review it. He's also gonna break down, Vicky, the portions if the village chooses to pay their portion. I asked if the village could pay their portion now and the town paying upon delivery, and he said that was fine. He'll break it down. I gave him the equalized values right now. So if that changes, if you can let me know in the next day or two, I don't know how soon that changes or when that changes.
We won't have the new numbers until later this year for
So-
future years.
So I would assume it would go off of the current numbers, which I gave was the 53.07.
I mean, if it changed, it would be a small amount and we would be able to, you know, between us and the town, we should be able to
Well,
resolve any change in price.
So I would assume that the prepaid discounts would go to the village, correct? And not the town?
Well, if he separates it,
He'll
yeah,
separate that. Prepayment discounts would go, or assume to the village because they were prepaying and the town would pay their full portion upon delivery. Oh, that's how it's gonna be broken down. That's up to, the village and town to figure that out.
The township up for the eating of the fire truck.
No, there was no, there was Pete.
I took care of it.
So yeah, so I think there's a lot of a big reason why the trucks are getting so expensive. We asked, and it's emissions. There's been huge emissions over the last 2 years. This is just crazy, but the average engine, he just signed a contract with I think it's Pleasant Prairie. And the last month, and it was 1.2 million for the engine, pretty similar to ours, and we're keeping it right at that 900,000 range. So we're on the lower end of new engines cost. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing. It's doesn't have many wants or needs. It's got a lot of, or I should say a lot of wants, but
It's basically all practical
It's a
stuff.
very basic, so, like I said, I'll have all that data for you hopefully next week or so, and I'll forward it right on to you. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, we're happy to help you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, then we'll move on to the Belgium Area Chamber of Commerce report.
Hello again.
Oh, welcome
I'm
back.
here, thank you. I am here on behalf of Melissa, who's at the Governor's Conference on Tourism this week. So first of all, I just want to thank you guys, for everyone who came and helped with First Brennan. We had another great weather night, luckily. We're really appreciative to Beekler Farms, Beekler Constructions, everyone who helped with the construction of the tower, and of course, the fire department, for all their assistance, in that evening. Coming up with the chamber, we have the Cedar Grove Belgium High School Job Fair, and that is going to be Thursday, April 10th. And it's a job and career fair, so all are welcome to come, whether you're looking to fill positions or if you just want to come and talk about your careers, the high school kids. It's a really impactful day with the kids, and it actually has made a difference in a lot of kids' lives, so hopefully we'll see a lot of you there. Next up, we have the Belgium Easter egg hunt, Saturday, April 12th at Heritage Park. And then our Brew and Chew event will be on Saturday, April 26th at Beekler Farms. We're searching for sponsors and vendors to participate in that. Tickets will be on sale, I forget, I want to say in the next week and a half-ish. So, any questions?
How much are tickets this year?
I think they're the same as last year, which, quote me, I think it's 40 ahead of time and 45 at the door. So,
Okay, thank you. We'll go to the village marshal report.
Okay, last month I issued 10 parking tickets. And I had a call, from a guy that complained we plowed snow in his driveway. But I get a call from the same person every year. So I talked to him and I said, they're just doing their job. They don't purposely plow snow in your yard just to close it up. And he still said, yeah, they do. And I said, no, they don't. So probably get a call next year again. And as far as the parking tickets go, I'll probably look at it toward the end of the month. If the weather keeps getting nice like this, maybe the last 2 weeks or last week, I'll, kind of just look the other way. If the weather's really nice and no snow coming, I'll just suspend giving out parking tickets. But for this weekend, I'll still do it. And
Does it usually go to April 1st?
yeah, April 1st.
Yeah.
I know the last couple of years, it got nice in the end of March. I just quit giving them, as all the other villagers quit giving them too. So that's all I got.
Anybody have anything else for the marshal? Okay, if not, we'll move on. Make a motion to approve village board meeting February 10th, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion's been made second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We move down to new business. Consider it,
He just break number 2.
oh, approve new operator license for Carrie Bellinger for 2024-2025 license.
I'll make motion to approve. I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions?
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We have no unfinished business. We'll go to new business. Discussion of possible action regarding maintenance of dead ash trees in residence yards. I had got a hold of the homeowner where the trees fell over from. They were in Florida all winter. And they came home Saturday. He started cleaning it up today, so he's working on it. They said they talked to the neighbor where the trees fell on their lot and told them that they were gonna be in Florida, they'll clean it up as soon as they get back. But evidently that message didn't get out, so he is cleaning it up. Does anybody have any other discussion on that?
What about a regular ash tree that's in some guy's front yard that's been dead for a number of years? Is there any ordinance to have to make them cut that down, or is it just only if it's hurting somebody's property, village's property?
How that reads, if it's a hazard to somebody, or? I don't know how that
Yeah,
reads.
the ordinance reads, if it's hazardous to any public property or private property that involves trees or other structures, so, if it's like, in this case, we're leaning against some other trees, but, I guess it depends on if it's in the middle of their property and if it would fall, probably not affect anyone but their property, I would say no under their ordinance, but if it's near a property line and could put other property at peril, then the ordinance would apply. There's a window of up to 14 days that have to be personally served. If you're following the ordinance procedure, there's a notice procedure, then they actually have to be personally served, and there's something on there about posting the tree that needs to be removed also. I wouldn't advise going on the person's property to do that, just.
They said they discussed it with the neighbor that the tree fell on, and they explained to them they were gonna be in Florida, they'll clean it up when they get back. And they got back on Saturday, they started cleaning it up this morning.
Was there any damage to the neighbor's property, like fencing or anything like that?
I don't know.
Because,
But it fell in. The intention of the tree is,
okay,
tree is leaning.
cause I'm thinking that,
Fell onto it.
I'm thinking that they might be at least morally obligated, if not legally obligated, to make restitution for damage to the.
And they can have a private matter between the two
Yeah.
neighbors on that also.
Have any other discussion on this?
I just got one question yet on trees. If they're hanging over, a neighbor's tree is hanging over your property, can you cut it, the branches off on your side of the property line? It's the question that was brought up.
It comes up all the time. Generally speaking, I would say try to work it out with the neighbor first. Legally speaking, you probably have a right to do it if it's overhanging your property line, but generally I would advise people to try to work out with the neighbor, get the permission, show them what the problem is.
Okay, thank you. I'll let them know.
No other discussion, we'll move on to 2, discussion of possible action regarding residents Wendy and Theodore Schweitzer having 4 registered dogs.
So, when, I was entering the payment, I saw that they had 4 that they registered all at once, and that is in violation of our ordinance, and I didn't feel like I could just ignore it. I mean, we don't, as a policy, make it, go around looking to see if people have unlicensed dogs in the village. But it was pretty hard to ignore that they licensed 4 at the same time. So I did ask Leon to go talk to them. I did look up historically, the last time this happened was in 2010. It was a similar situation where it came to the office's attention that there were 4 dogs at a property. In that case, it had been going on for a few years. And the board did then, so it was taken to the board did rule that they could continue to keep the dogs until one of them passed, with the understanding that if one of their dogs passed, they could not replace it and continue to be at 4. So, Leon told her, what the situation was. She came in and talked to me. Very nice lady. There are 4 very small dogs, like Yorkie poos and stuff. She had no idea there was a rule, and she is asking the board. Unfortunately, they had to leave for vacation and could not be here tonight. But she has asked that the board give her, the ordinance does allow the board to approve exceptions to the rule. And she is asking that they be allowed to keep their dogs until one of them passes.
So there was no complaint from any neighbor, there was
No.
what brought it to your
Right.
attention was literally the.
Right.
They're trying to legally register their
I
dogs.
did. I wasn't sure what to do, which is why I went back and checked historically what's been happening before. And when I saw what happened in the past, that was when we talked about it and asked Leon to to go talk to them because, you know, I just felt like we couldn't just
Well,
ignore it when it was.
Do we
clear.
need a motion on this? Because
Yes.
I will make the motion that we, that as a board, handle this as we handled the 2010 case. Allow them to continue for the lifetime of the 4 dogs, and when one passes, they're limited to 3 going forward.
I'll second.
Can I make one suggestion with that motion? In our ordinance, it's interesting because for cats, the board, there's a standard where you can allow for more than 3 cats. As Vicky pointed out, there's an exception for dogs in a similar section, but it doesn't say what the standard is. I think what's stated on this motion is consistent with that. But I would just add also that keeping the 4 dogs would not result in a nuisance. I know it's part of the.
Then I amend my motion to reflect that. I think that's a good addition.
Okay,
Second it again.
motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion on this? Not all in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
I.
Opposed? Motion passes.